Hi, mystery writers. Welcome to Write a Killer Mystery. I'm Zara, Altair, mystery writer and mystery writing coach. And today I want to talk about how to manage your supporting characters in your mystery. First, I want to thank my patrons on Patreon for supporting this video series and supporting my writing. And if you would like to become a patron, there's a link in the description below. Okay, so let's talk about managing supporting characters in a mystery. First of all, what is a supporting character? A supporting character it's neither the main character like the protagonist or the antagonist, and it's not a small cameo or walk-on part. The supporting characters actually flesh out your story. They're very important. Wikipedia's definition is a good place to start. A supporting character is a character in a narrative that is not the focus of the primary storyline, but appears or is mentioned in the story enough to be more than just a minor character or cameo appearance. So the supporting character's role is really to support the story. They reveal key details in the story, and they motivate your protagonist, and they obstruct your protagonist, and they help define the story setting. Secondary characters enrich your novel by adding details and creating problems for your main character, both the protagonist and your antagonist, your detective and your villain. And they also expand your novel by providing the reader with a window into the world of your novel. And without supporting characters, your novel can feel flat, and the storyline can feel one-dimensional. So how do you create those supporting characters to add to your story? Not enough supporting characters will make your novel feel thin, and too many will confuse your reader. So you want to strike a balance. And in a mystery, that's pretty easy to do because you have suspects and they are supporting characters. So too many can interfere with the storyline by providing too many subplots. And in your mystery, you want to focus and remain on the detective's search to discover the truth of who the villain is. So I think a really good place to start, and I don't hear many people mention this, is start with the character's role in the story. This will really help you if you're a beginning writer, because you can streamline your supporting characters and you won't overload your story with too many characters. So the first question to ask of a supporting character is, what is their role in the story? It's the first thing you want to add to your character background in your character Bible. It's like, if you don't know the character's role in the story, you probably don't need that character. So a colorful character with no story purpose is just a colorful character, and you can just delete them. Save them for another story, perhaps. So here's some ways to brainstorm why you want the character in the story. One important role is to guide your sleuth in the unfamiliar world of the victim, because you're guiding your reader too. You're guiding your reader into the victim's world. There also can be a suspect for the crime, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that in a minute. They can be an opponent with an intent to disrupt your sleuth's life. This isn't the villain. This is just somebody whose intent is to obstruct your sleuth for whatever the reason. Um, they could be a love interest, and they could either distract your sleuth from their pursuit or actually help. Up to you. Um, Supporting characters also, because they interact with your protagonist and antagonist, can help reveal traits about the protagonist and the antagonist. So there's a lot of things those supporting characters can do. And another supporting character can be a minion of the villain. They may be a knowing minion and they're in on everything, or they may be someone who is unknowingly manipulated by the villain. Okay. Characters who distract your sleuth from their goal create story obstacles, and you want a lot of obstacles in your story. So when a character prevents your sleuth from forward progress in the investigation, you create story tension, and story tension is what readers keep turning pages. It keeps readers turning pages because they want to find out how this issue is going to be resolved. So for mystery writers, supporting characters, I think it's really important to focus on the suspects. And as you line up the suspects for your story, you may find you do not need many more supporting characters. In a mystery, suspects keep your sleuth occupied by supplying both clues and red herrings. So each suspect had their own relationship with the victim, and you need to know that relationship. You want to create a strong backstory of the suspect's relationship with the victim. That doesn't mean you need to put all that stuff into your story. It's just that you need to know that backstory in order to create believable supporting character. And you also want to know each suspect's relationship with the other suspects in your mystery. So there's a lot to play with. You really want to create deep character backgrounds for all of your suspects. I would say really almost as much as your sleuth, because all those details are going to help you create all those different situations, scene by scene, in your story. Those details are they're like fodder for the scenes as your character, as that supporting character interacts with other characters, especially your sleuth. And the more details you have on hand for a character, the better you can pull them out to confound your sleuth, depending on the situation you've created in the scene. And those details are the way to add personality. And as your sleuth interacts with the suspects, you drive the plot forward. And sometimes the suspects help point the sleuth toward the mystery, and sometimes their character traits hinder the investigation. Strong suspects enliven your story. So write their details with conflict in mind. And how will each suspect trip up your protagonist? I think if you plan for each suspect to at least once present an obstacle for your sleuth to overcome, you enrich your story. So you can bring out those details in dialogue, you can bring out those details in action, and to make each suspect distinct from all the others, because you want your reader to feel like the suspects are people they might know or have encountered in their life. Okay, and then the other supporting characters don't require as much background work, but you still want to give them enough detail to support their role in the story. For example, an opponent, whatever their specific details, you need to know their motivation for obstructing your protagonist. And if you have a love interest, They require enough background for them to appeal to your detective's personality. And mentors and sidekicks need all the ways they support your sleuth. But I would say concentrate on the aspects that make that mentor or that sidekick make them different from your sleuth. So you always have like their locking horns or butting heads. Even though they're helping. Okay. So, secondary characters support your story. That's their main job. And as you write, you bring your characters to life with details you've created in that character background, and you help your supporting characters move the story forward as they interact with the protagonist in search of the villain. And the details you create make it easy for your reader to understand the characters as three-dimensional people. That's what you want to get across for your readers. They support and give obstacles, and they create little mini arcs in your story so you can enrich your plot lines. And all of that helps hold reader interest. Okay, so I hope that helps. Supporting characters, especially your suspects, are so vital to creating a great mystery. So if you're ready to write your mystery, you can get the help you need with the course Write a Killer Mystery. It takes you from your story idea through all the ways to create that mystery, from developing all those characters and creating your setting and developing the victim's world and creating your antagonist, and getting you all the way to writing the end. So there's a link in the description below if you'd like to check it out. So thank you. Don't forget to subscribe and click that little notification bell so you will know when the next episode of Write a Killer Mystery is here. All right. Thank you for watching.